thanks for joining our presentation today in cooperation with Herta. So I have with me Baha and Yewen from Herta. If you guys want to say hello real quick.
Hi everyone, nice to have you all here.
So we're going to get kicked into it. So we wanted to do something a little bit different from just kind of showing the integration. So we wanted to kind of touch on the topic that we've had a lot of kind of like talk around lately, and that's preparing for what we'd say like the post-COVID world, right? Like everybody kind of was talking about solutions for COVID when it first started, but I think now everyone's realized it's a lot longer and it's going to be here for a lot longer than people first anticipated, even after the effects of COVID, right? There's going to be a lot of change to legislation, a lot of change to process, and a lot of change to kind of reaction of kind of outbreaks that are happening in remoter parts of the world now. There's going to be a more kind of fear of it kind of becoming a global pandemic again. So we're just going to talk about some of the kind of like things that we're going to see and what our technology combined can kind of solve those kind of future-proofing of systems to make sure that you're not scrambling when or if anything happens again. So to get into it, just a little bit about network optics. If you've come from the Herta side of the customer base. So NX Witness was basically it was started back in 2012, and it was basically started by two guys that worked for an IP camera company and were fed up of using other people's VMS platforms, just because it was so complex to use, and they were using high megapixel cameras and the streaming wasn't very good. So they wanted to make a platform that was a lot more user friendly, still maintained all that feature set, and also delivered video a lot faster. So that's kind of why our company was born. So you can see here, it was first actually founded in 2010, but the first release was 2012. And then you can see it's just gone from strength to strength. We were listed in Inc. magazine as the 7th fastest growing software company in the whole of the United States in 2016. And we've now got over 3 million channels worldwide and offices across the world. So we're just growing kind of faster and faster. Each year we're adding a lot of headcount to our dev team to make sure that we can keep up with the requirements of the market. So there's 3 principles that we kind of touched on in the first slide, so just to kind of reiterate them. So the usability of the system is something we've really focused on. We didn't just create the system and say, yeah, like what's everybody else doing? Let's do the same thing. We kind of pushed what video had done in the past out the window, got in a UX designer, got in a UI designer, and said like based on the new modern day technology and new kind of like software principles, let's design this from the ground up in the best way possible. So that's why it's kind of a lot more usability in terms of what you would come to expect from a piece of software, because we're not just building on something that was from the 90s per se. The lightweightness of the system is kind of the delivery of video. We've added things like adaptive scaling, where we can actually use the low resolution and high resolution streams from cameras to actually deliver video high megapixel streams in a lot less time, a lot less lag, and then adapt it based on how large the videos are on your screen and things to make sure that you're not wasting CPU or network usage trying to stream a 4K video that's only this big on your screen, which would be irrelevant pretty much. And then the last step is the extensibility. So we've made sure that everything's open. We have REST APIs, we have Meta SDKs, we have Source SDKs, Storage SDKs, all available, and we have HTML browsers or web browsers built into our layout for custom UI components. So the idea is a lot of people are getting a lot more specific with their requirements because there's so much technology out there. They want to deliver a very specific kind of solution or platform, especially after they've watched way too much CSI. So we actually have a lot of tools that allow people to kind of deliver these custom solutions rather than just kind of have like this is your solution, it is what it is.
James,
so
sorry to interrupt. James,
yep.
Not sure if the attendees can see anything on the screen, but we can't as panelists. So just wanted to warn you. Maybe you're not sharing the right screen.
Yeah, people should be able to see my screen. I'm not sure why you're not able to see my screen.
Yeah, I'm neither. So neither of us can see it.
Okay. Are you able to see it now?
No. Hopefully attendees can, but we cannot see anything.
Yeah, okay. It may be that there's a panel you have to open somewhere on yours. Yeah, it's sharing. Someone just messaged me and said they can see it. So
okay.
can you check your settings and just see if there's a section that you need to just open it up on? Sorry.
Okay.
We've just gone into the Herta section, and you kind of need to see the screen.
We can't see. We see Asus Pro, your desktop, and that's it.
Let me see if I can get it with you. Are you able to see it now? Can you see it now, Baha?
No.
Do you have any like panels or anything that you can check to see?
Yeah, I checked all the settings that could relate, but nothing really.
Interesting. I don't know how to get you to see it now. I mean, you should be able to see it, but let's see. Yeah, it's streaming to everyone. So there must be an area somewhere that you can bring out the screen. Hold on. Do you have the presentation available on your computer? Because I can change the screen share to you if you've just got the link available.
Well, for starters, I don't think there's anything on our side as a setting that we can do to help this, but I will check if we have the presentation on our side. 1 second. Okay, well, not the latest version, I think.
Okay. Let me see if I can change to you real quick and see if I can see your screen and figure it out.
Which screen are you seeing right now?
Yeah, I can see your screen. Okay.
Which one?
I can see Gmail.
Okay. So, I mean, I'll stop sharing and just share the presentation that I see here. Okay, just 1 second.
Yep.
I guess this is the one anyway. So, download it.
Oh, you can just do it from there. If you just hit full screen, it will just like present mode in the top right.
Okay.
And then it'll be the latest, yeah, just where it says present, and then you can just click through it the same way.
All right.
All right, if you want to jump through to your slide.
Okay. So hi everyone, and sorry for the issues with the presentation so far. Hopefully this will help everyone to actually see the screen right now. At least we can see, so we can talk about it. Well, about Herta a little bit. Herta has been in the field for 12 years now. We've been focusing on biometrics solutions throughout these years, and the last 8-9 years we've been known for our face recognition solutions out in the market with its accuracy and speed. And Gartner recognizes us as one of the most mature platforms for facial authentication today, and this is mainly thanks to all the know-how we gathered throughout the years after delivering many projects across the globe and many different industries. A little bit more about Herta. So we have offices around the world from Barcelona. Barcelona is our headquarters. We have offices from Singapore to Montevideo and Los Angeles to Dubai. And with this presence, we have been able to recruit over 300 right now, 300 certified partners around the world. And also we have clients in more than 50+ countries. Our software is available in 10 different languages, and it is easy, very easy to add an additional language if required. But like considering we are talking to people from EMEA today, our solution comes with French support, Spanish, Italian, and English support. So if you have projects in those countries, to work out of the box right away. Our mission is to increase global security through facial recognition technology. We try to deliver on this mission every other day. Here's the product portfolio of Herta that many of our partners, our ecosystem is familiar with. Our flagship products are Biosurveillance and Biofinder. These applications, the Biosurveillance, allows users to perform face recognition in real time at a very high speed. We will talk about that later as well. Biofinder, using the same technology, allows users to perform face recognition in forensic recorded, in recorded media to perform forensic analysis. And BioAccess, just like the name indicates, is designed to deliver access control using face recognition again. Biomarketing allows marketeers to perform demographic analytics on recorded media or real-time video footage. Well, what you want to take it over, right, James?
You can, I mean, or you can do it if you want to. It's either or.
No, I think the plan was you're going to do it, right? That's what I remember.
Right, if you can just leave the presentation on your screen though, just so you guys can see it.
Okay.
Cool. So yeah, so some of the things that I kind of talked with the Herta guys about in terms of like what we're expecting for a long time, and it will be triggered. I think every time there'll be kind of like an outbreak that kind of happens somewhere in the world, we'll be a lot more quick to react to it. Maybe prior, before it even starts to like spread, there'll be kind of like certain rules that will come into place to ensure that it definitely doesn't spread. So things like occupancy detection, right, is a big one. It's kind of going on a lot right now in terms of with grocery stores and with kind of large shopping centers and things where there's kind of like traffic light systems at the entrance and exits to kind of stop people going in or out based on how many people are inside. So that becomes obviously a real challenge when you've got a larger premises with more than one entry or exit. So obviously the technology there to actually be monitoring like large shopping malls and shopping mall environments where they're going to have multiple entries and exits and things to start tracking and calculating how many people are inside and outside of these kind of larger environments and stadiums and things like this. We've also got obviously contact tracing, or well, we'll start with localizing of like person of interest, right? So like if there is potentially an outbreak, like for instance, we've seen lately in Taiwan with the airline pilots that have recently landed over there, you want to be able to find those people instantly and be able to kind of like track where they are. So the localizing of the person, so finding that person somewhere in a system, whether they're in a stadium environment, whether it's a safe city project, the key is you want to try and like find that person as quickly as possible, and then you want to also do the contact tracing side of things where you want to find out where that person's been, so then you can kind of go into that process of making sure that everyone's contacted, everybody is kind of not going out there and mingling in massive crowds of people to try and ensure that this is minimized. And this accounts for going far into the future, because you're going to be having, like I said, these outbreaks. They're not okay. A global pandemic is very rare, but these outbreaks happen throughout the world constantly in smaller locations, and you're going to find that now when people have traveled from a place that's had an outbreak, they're going to be tracked and they're going to be wanting to make sure that that person is safe and they're not bringing like another kind of disease around the world. And then the last one, which I think is going to be going for a very long time, is the face mask. So everyone's going to be wearing face masks. So being accurate on your face recognition with a face mask on is quite important. It covers up the majority of your face. Most people will know that from when they try to unlock their phones. Most people's phones will not unlock without doing the quick before they do it. So yeah, having that accuracy to actually really detect people with face masks on and do it accurately is probably one of the most important ones at the moment, because we're all in Spain and we have to wear in Barcelona we have to wear face masks in the street, not just inside of premises. So pretty much no one is seen without a face mask on these days. So jump to the next slide. So how the NX and kind of Herta, like how does that kind of like react to those kind of 4 things that we touched on? So obviously Herta has all the intelligence in terms of doing all the tracking of people and doing the face mask detection and all the actual being able to detect a person's ID with a face mask on. But what happens is all that data then obviously comes into NX. And then we're able to alert and notify and trigger different events and actions with our rules and events engine, right? So for those of you that know our platform, we have quite a comprehensive rules and events engine, which means there's a lot we can do. So for instance, if there's no face mask on, we can send a push notification to a store manager. We can trigger speakers to automatically send out pre-recorded messages. You know, if someone's looking for a specific person, they come into the system, we can search for that person and it will show you all the times that person's been captured on cameras that are running the Herta system throughout our system, which then obviously means that we can then track those people and where they've been to make sure that anyone else around them is not affected. And then obviously we can do the display of the occupancy metrics. We can use our outputs and our triggers to basically you know, lock down doors. So if the occupancy is too high, then you cut the motor to a sliding door, for instance, so the sliding door no longer works. When the occupancy drops back down again and everyone's left, the door starts operating again. So all of this is basically available via our rules and events engine. There's a lot more you can do than that. You know, we've got a whole bunch of different things that are available. It kind of leads into that extensibility kind of point that we were talking about previously, and the ability to do anything that someone kind of wants or needs to do that they've got kind of designed in their head. If you can just jump to the next slide. So we're just going to talk about metadata for a little while, which we haven't done with Herta yet, but we will be doing it in the future, hopefully. The metadata integration is basically where we can bring in much more than just an alarm or a trigger. So we don't, rather than just saying, all right, this person's been seen, this is his information, we can actually bring in all the actual metadata that's been captured from, for instance, the Herta system eventually. And what that allows us to do is actually run searches on locally stored metadata, which means we can actually do a lot faster kind of location and recognition of what we're looking for. If the metadata is there, we're a bit more flexible in terms of what we can search for and what we can't search for, versus when it's the API integration, it's only what the integration allows for, whereas with the metadata, we can actually inspect the metadata versus just what alarms came in. It also means that we've got a lot more power in terms of the visual display as well, in terms of we can actually have the boxes drawn over people's faces with the tags on top of the video streams themselves, rather than just coming in a notification feed on the right-hand side. So it really gives a lot more power to the system. And it also means from a end user point of view, it feels like one seamless system. We can do context actions as well, which allows us to, if there's an unenrolled person in the database, for instance, and you need to enroll them into the database, you can right click and actually enter their name, and it will send the details back to the database and enroll them into the system. So you don't even have to go to the system to enroll people anymore. So it's really one of the things we really focused on with that kind of metadata integration is for the end user to have one seamless experience, not having multiple different kind of platforms that they're running with, just having that one platform to use. So that's why we kind of like focus on that metadata side of the integration as well, which hopefully we'll be doing soon with the Herta guys. And do you want to jump into the next one?
Sure. A little bit about Herta's unique selling propositions. Well, first and foremost, we are known for the speed and accuracy. So there are many platforms, many solutions nowadays that does the face recognition, and they will be talking about the accuracy and speed in separate forms. But for us, it's very important to deliver speed while being accurate, or deliver an accuracy while being as fast as possible, because this is very tricky. Sometimes you're very fast, but you're nowhere near as accurate as you need to be. So we try to find the best of both worlds and deliver that. But there are projects at times where speed is important. To give you a bit more insights. How it works basically is that if you can't detect the face, if you're not fast enough to detect the face, you can't perform identification on that face. That's missed. Therefore, speed is very important, especially in surveillance projects, right? And accuracy becomes very important in access control environments. So speed is not that important because you're dealing with faces that are actually right in front of the camera, etc. So Herta is also flexible. We are not talking about one product that fits it all. We are able to deliver a different algorithm. We are able to deliver a different version of our application that meets project requirements the best way possible. But yet, still, we are known for the speed and accuracy at the same time. When analyzing high resolution and crowds. So when we talk about crowds, we're talking about like hundreds of faces at the same time being detected, being identified, and us being able to perform comparisons against a database of 60 million subjects. I'll repeat that, 60 million subjects in less than a second. Allows us to actually do all this very fast, and that allow users, allow operators, security operators at times to react to alarms raised in real time. Very important. The system allows registration of multiple blacklists or people of interest or suspects or whatever. So you can take different actions, especially if you do the integration right with NX Witness. It allows you to perform different actions based on the alarms raised for different watch lists that we have on the database. Scalability is very important. This is thanks to our know-how that we've developed over a decade now. We have many modules that we didn't talk about today that complements our core product portfolio that we talked about a little bit earlier. So this allows us to actually scale applications and deliver experiences to customers from a phase one, where they can perhaps like perform face recognition with 10 cameras, and take it up to 200 to 2,000 cameras without any issues. So scalability is very, very important for us, and we've delivered it multiple times already. A little bit about the ecosystem. So Herta works with system integrators as we go to the end users. So Herta does not own end users. From time to time, we would like to know the end user so we can learn from them, take that feedback, and then bring it back to the research front and product development front. So with some system integrators, we work very closely and we collaborate on the end customer front, but we don't want to own the end customer. So we work with system integrators. We train them, we prepare them so they can deliver the utmost customer experience that we would like our customers to experience. In addition to that, we work with technology manufacturers such as NVIDIA and Intel very, very closely, because this is the core of the technology that we develop. It allows us to bring bleeding edge technology into the product very quick and offer it to the market at the same pace. Very important for us to work with VMS partners such as Network Optix, one of them. Because system integrators that we work with, they are also resellers or integrators of these same partners. Therefore, to make the job of integrators easier, we deliver such integration that we're going to be seeing in the next minutes, to allow them to actually deliver the value to the customer faster. It's very important, so they don't have to build an integration every other time. They will just, this is pretty much the out of the box. You click 2 buttons, we give you the middleware, and it works. Herta also works with camera manufacturers very closely. This is also very important, just like the technology partners, because these guys come up with like new technology that allows to filter the light better, handle the backlighting better, etc., etc. So we need to test these cameras periodically and give them feedback, get feedback, and then see what we can do on the product front to deliver a better experience overall. I will hand the word over to my colleague Yawen now, so she can talk about the integration we have between Herta and NX Witness.
Okay, thank you, Aha. We will go through the integration. This integration between Herta and NX is a middleware software that communicates both software, Herta and NX VMS. In this way, NX remains as a centralized software where the Herta alarm are visualized. So the latest version we have released is the 1.05, and this version is compatible with the latest version of Herta and NX products. This integration was developed using the server API, which includes HTTP generic events. And as James commented, we are now evaluating the Meta SDK to improve this integration further. The main windows we can find within the integration UI are a login window where the user can log into the server where the NX is running. Then we have a server configuration window to log into the Herta server. And here we can also see between which type of alarm we want to synchronize between Herta and NX. And we can synchronize detection alarms, identification alarm, or both of them. Then we have a window to make the mapping between the Herta cameras and NX cameras, and we have to make the relationship between them. And finally, we have another settings window to customize the information received from Herta. In this case, we can select between the name, surname, the code ID, or
We lost her.
And you can jump to the next slide, please.
Sure.
No, the next slide is the demo, is the video.
I need to request access from you.
Yeah,
I guess.
just hit it real quick.
You want to share your screen? You want to share your screen now, James? Maybe you already have it and people can see it. Or
Yeah,
no,
you
we can't see it. So no, we can't see it. So better.
just hit the request access button real quick, and I'll.
Yeah, I did already.
You'll have it in 2 seconds. Don't worry. Go back to it. Oh, technical difficulties. It's a good thing we don't work for technology companies. It's the very last slide.
All right, here we go. I'm gonna run it. Okay, there you go, Yoma.
Okay. Well, this is the Herta interface showing on the left all the detection alarms or the camera source running, and on the right we can see all the identifications. From the source we can see as well a square within the face every time we get an identification showing the name, the score. And now we can see the NX VMS interface. Here we see the information received from Herta. In this case, on the right, we see the real-time pop-up notifications coming, and with the frame where the face was detected. And if we move the mouse over, we can see more information regarding the alarm. And at the bottom of the VMS, we can see a timeline with bookmarks, and this bookmark was generated by each alarm. And as well, we can see more information if we double click on this bookmark. If the camera recording mode is active, then if we double click on a bookmark, we can see a short recording video showing the exact moment where the identification was made. So all this information is available from NX, meaning that the end user or the operator will only need to have NX VMS running to see all the alarms coming from Herta.
That's the video. I guess it's completed.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think well that is almost all the.
Okay, yeah, it looks good. So one of the cool things is all that data that's coming in, because you're using generic events, right? We can actually trigger based off of exactly what's coming in. So It's not just the notifications. Like if a certain ID comes in, we can launch a specific alert that someone's come in that shouldn't be there, for instance, or if another specific ID or on a list comes in, then we can trigger an output to open up a gate. Or a door. There's all the kind of events that are coming in on that generic event in our rules engine. It's kind of, you can basically filter it like a keyword search. So then basically with any of that information that's coming in, if there is something you want to trigger an event of, like a specific word that comes in, you can trigger any event. So it could be a push notification. So if someone's seen on the site that shouldn't be there, it can send a push notification to your phone straight away. It will have the information of the person, and then you can kind of like do whatever your response would be to that if you don't want to. So it's pretty flexible in terms of how that works as well.
Exactly. Yeah, this is just like one of the first versions of the integration attendees are looking at. But in a nutshell, it does a very, very great job. So Herta does the detection, identification, and then all the identification alarms that can be viewed from Herta's main screen are all reflected over here as well. In addition to it, by performing this integration, we are also allowing users to make use of the VMS's feature offerings, such as bookmarks, such as replaying a video where the individual was seen last, and like you mentioned, it could help with the contact tracing features, etc., in the future when needed. But yeah, in a nutshell, it does a very great job, and we continuously improve these integrations that we have with technology providers like NX Witness. And if there's anybody in this call today who requires a different feature, feel free to share with us, and we will look into it.
Yeah, if anyone's got any questions, please feel free to ask away. We'll leave it open for a couple of minutes, and then this presentation will potentially be on our YouTube channel with the technical errors we've had, but it will be available if anybody wants it, or if anyone wants the presentation, just let us know, and we'll get it over to you. As Baha said, we're just kind of early days in the integration, so hopefully we'll be improving it and getting that meta integration and getting more projects together down the line. Especially as we're both in the same city. So
exactly.
All right, cool. Do you guys have any other final comments to make while we just wait to see if there's any questions coming in?
No comments on my side. Yaran, do you have any?
No.
So one of the core strengths that from my understanding of Herta, though, right, is like the crowd surveillance. You can do like a ridiculous amount of faces in one at one time,
exactly.
Right? It's not like one of those systems where as soon as you get 5 people walk through, everything kind of just starts crashing. Yours will do like hundreds, right? Or like
exactly. I mean, that's been one of the core differentiators for years now. Being able to like not just detect multiple faces, but especially in forensic analysis tool that we call Biofinder, we can actually process videos 8 times, 10 times faster than real time. So usually this is a very such a pain in the neck for police officers. Like they take this 24 hours footage looking for a criminal and go through that, sit in front of it, and then hope that they will see the criminal or the suspect that they are looking for. But if they have an image or two that could belong to that suspect, we can perform the forensic analysis and see if there's a match in that 24 hours video in less than an hour at times. So yeah. This is literally a pain reliever for those police officers.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be a pretty important part of the kind of post-COVID things. I think a lot of the rules and kind of like barriers will stay in the large, like the high density environment. So like stadiums and shopping malls and things like that, where there's a lot of people together. I think that's where there's going to be a need for still having face masks on and like the ability to really quickly identify and track someone if there is like a potential flag somewhere. I think that's a key with you guys. I think is you'll be able to analyze all that data to really be able to hopefully avoid any kind of like smaller outbreaks as COVID kind of starts to tail off and hopefully get back to normality.
That's correct. And also integration such as NX Witness is very, very important, because our platform, what it does is basically processes and gives out some results. But then what do you do with that result? And the platform becomes very important. Where do you store those results? What do you do with those results? How do you communicate those results, and to whom you communicate those results? And all that needs to be orchestrated on a platform, and NX Witness can really help with that.
Yeah, cool. Cool. All right. Well, we didn't have any questions come in. So if anyone does have any other questions, like feel free to email us or reach out to either of our companies. Thanks for everyone for joining. Thanks to the Herta guys for joining. And hopefully we'll speak to everyone soon.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks for joining.
Thank you.